Welcome to Library-ish. I'm Traci.
And I'm January. And today we're soaking up the sunshine and diving headfirst into summer reading.
We're going to walk you through what summer reading is and why it's so important. We'll also break down how the prizes work and give you a sneak peek at some of the most exciting programs.
And stick around because we'll also be chatting with our two fabulous children's librarians who will share their favorite moments, tips, and maybe even a book recommendation or two.
So grab your sunscreen and your library card because summer reading starts now. Let's go! We're talking today about summer reading. Look who we have here today. Miss Kimberly Wheeler is back joining us. Thank you so much, and thank you for being here. One of the things that we're talking about today is summer reading, because we know that it's a very specific thing. This isn't just all fun and games and so forth. We have summer reading for a specific reason. So could you talk a little bit about what makes summer reading important?
Why do we even bother with it?
Seriously.
That's a great question. There's a lot of good reasons, and one of the main reasons that we like to focus on is preventing summer slide. It's concept summer slide, in which if kids don't read as much in the summertime, they might slip behind a little bit in their skill levels that they've achieved in the prior school year. So we like to definitely prevent that if we could even get them ahead of it a little bit by having them read throughout the summer, even better. So there's definitely a focus there with wanting their reading to be strong, successful, and having them be ready for the new school year.
And that summer slide is a real thing. I remember being a kid in school, early elementary, and going on vacation and coming back and holding a pencil and having to write my name and being like, I know this. It's right here.
Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Wait, I got this.
So, your brain, it does. If you don't use it for certain things, you kind of forget. And it happens with languages a lot. Yeah. Even kids who grow up speaking Spanish, if they don't speak it for a number of years, they get rusty. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, it's a great example. A great example of having to pause and think of, oh, wait, I know this, and it is there, right? I think it's just about having it be more accessible.
Absolutely. And when you think of all the resources that are used in public schools and so forth to help kids in the beginning of the school year catch back up, and how difficult that is for kids to be coming back, and how insecure it can make a kid to come back after summer, and maybe other kids haven't lost as much ground and they're trying to work really hard to catch up. And it's just so great to have this gap filler that we provide over the summer to sort of keep that learning consistent, but in a fun, accessible way. That's not exactly school. It also gives them an experience, because so much of learning is learning for the test in school, and summer reading is not that, which is great.
Yeah, right. We definitely want them to have fun. Yeah. We definitely want them to think about spending time at the library with their summer days, knowing that there will be fun things to do here that will kind of scaffold the reading journey. There's lots of fun activities. Of course, we love it because we love to see our library being used, and we love to see our sections being admired and circulating. So we do love that.
Yeah, we want to see those shelves empty.
Right.
Check those books out. And you've been involved in summer reading here for quite a number of years. What sort of things have you noticed about the program? How has it grown and changed over the years? Or have we, sort of our core ideas really remained consistent over time?
Yeah, that's a great question. Over the years that we've done summer reading, we've always participated in the iRead in the iRead program, and that is a program out of the state of Illinois, but it's always a kind of a package deal with cool themes that lots of libraries throughout the United States will adopt. And so then we kind of try to put our own maybe personal spin on it, localize that concept. And so the themes have been very different each year, from gaming to nature to travel. And so I think that always keeps it interesting for us, because we have something different to work with.
I'm wearing last year's shirt, which was about
Find Your
fighting
Voice.
self-expression.
I
Find Your
love
Voice.
it. Love it. And the themes also give you lots of different ways to express the theme. Finding your voice can mean a lot of things. This year, level up at your library is the theme, and there's a lot of ways you can think about leveling up outside of a game. One of the things that seems to remain consistent from my observation is the way that kids seem to outread everybody. That kids outread adults.
Boy, that's
fair.
so
They,
true.
That's fair.
They're definitely, showing folks how it's done. And summer reading is their chance to shine with that. The high volume of materials that kids go through, that seems to be consistent year after year.
Yes, boy, that's for sure. And what do you think makes summer reading such a special experience for the kids and for their families?
Yeah. Oh, and another really great question. I think that it might come down to the localized sort of experience, not only being a part of something whole, maybe something that, is county-wide, but also like the localized experience of the kiddos. Like in Paradise, for example, where we are today, they can come in and they can connect with January. They can talk about the books that they're reading. They know they're going to be met with a happy, supportive, caring, librarian who's here to make sure that they're seen, and that feeling kind of just keeps them coming back. It keeps them wanting to stay engaged. And of course, if they wanted to go to Chico and see what was going on there, they're also going to be met with happy faces and supportive staff. So I do think our team is kind of really what makes it special, because we do get excited about it.
We're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've got subject matter experts. We've got folks who have empathy, who know kind of what the kiddo's going through. And it doesn't always have to be, sometimes a kiddo might be struggling a little bit. So it doesn't always have to present like everything's amazing. If they're having a little bit of a hard time, we're going to help them, we're going to help them feel uplifted. So I think it's our team that is just exceptional.
No, that's very true.
And we've got a great team starting out this year, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of great new people. The people that have been here long term really do feel supported and have the opportunity to engage with the public more. It's so important and great. And I think one of the things about, like you were talking about, kids that might be a little behind, but that they're able to come in and get support from us. That's one of the important things I feel like about the fun factor with summer reading, because a big thing for me, I'm always banging on about it, but library anxiety, knowing that a kid knowing that they can come into a library and have a good time sort of takes that sting out of. Books are always a way that I wind up feeling inadequate about myself, or I wind up having to confront my, the fact that I'm not keeping up with my peers in XYZ area in this highly structured school environment. They're able to come into the library, be around the same sort of stuff, books, learning, so forth, but they're able to do it in a way where all of the stakes are lowered. So they can enjoy themselves and learn that maybe they have an aptitude for things they didn't even know they had, because it's more accessible emotionally for them. The stakes are so much lower.
I love that.
We don't grade. We don't judge. We don't assess.
Right.
We don't do any of that, because if you were in Chico for a period of time where you're up here, I do baby story time. And I'm always talking about how, yes, when you teach your children to read, you have the phonics, the phonemic awareness, you have the A is A, B is B, so on and so forth. The big piece that we as librarians are focusing on is encouraging the enjoyment of reading itself. And that's something that you can't assess. That's something that we don't, we're here to encourage, and we're here to provide materials and resources and things along those lines. But it's fun. And like the way I see this is I'm taking Spanish right now. I'm taking Spanish for specifically in libraries because this is
Cool.
my situation.
Well, good starting point.
Yeah.
Start there with the stuff you have the investment in, and then you can.
Well, see, but that's the thing though, is I enrolled in the Spanish class thinking that I want to learn Spanish. This will be fun.
Yeah.
And then I get assessed. And I get homework, and I get graded, and I get judged, and each part kind of knocks me down. So when you're these children, and you have a book, and you have to read the book because you're going to be assessed, and you're going to be graded, and you're going to be judged.
Right.
It doesn't make it fun.
No.
It makes it the opposite. And my daughter, I've talked about her a lot. She's dyslexic. She is in 7th grade, and she's been tested with a 4th grade reading level. And they'll give her stuff that's at her level, and she'll struggle, and it takes the fun out of it. So when she comes to the library, she'll go to Dogman, and she'll pick up one of those and be like, this is fun. I like this.
Yeah.
She'll go to Demon Slayer and pick up one of those, and she'll take her time with it. But she likes it. It's fun.
Well, and that's how you build that muscle. Otherwise, you just constantly, I mean, we were talking today about anxiety. And it's like if you do a task and the first emotion you feel doing it is anxiety, you're probably not going to go, and now I'll do it for fun.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be like, there's got to be something else I can find to do for fun. And so, coming
Anything
here.
else.
Yeah, exactly. So, layering in all those other elements that we do for summer reading so helps to take that heat out of that thing and be like, you could take that, take out those graphic novels and read that graphic novel version of that book you're going to be assigned next year. Get familiar with it and get comfortable and have fun and enjoy it. And then it's not so unfamiliar and there's not so much pressure on you. Like,
see, that's our job.
Yeah.
Our job's the fun.
Yeah. It's pretty great. It's pretty great because, I mean, I think the point that you're talking about is, creating that sense of comfort or a baseline of a positive memory or positive experience is what brings them back to us. And then as long as they come back, then there we've got all of this kind of unlimited potential, as well as like taking maybe the fear out of asking a question. Right. And then you've got like a rapport established with your local librarians, and it's safe. It's safe to ask a question, knowing you're not going to be critiqued about it, that you're not going to be judged.
Very much.
Exactly.
So,
No, it's so important. And now moving from, we're not going to critique you, but there is a criteria. We're going to just do a little sleight of hand. And now we do provide reading trackers, and we do provide prizes for accomplishments. What's sort of the criteria we're looking for this year? I know last year it was like 5 books, 10 books, 15 books, 20. Are we doing the same kind of criteria for the prize structure?
I think that's what we're looking at. We are going to actually talk about it a little bit more today because we're getting close to launch time. But we kind of want to pin it down. But I think we're going to go with last year's model.
Excellent. So then when you do come in and sign up for summer reading, just check with whomever you sign up with, whether it's at a sign up table or a circ desk, and they'll be able to let you know. They'll make sure you understand the criteria and what the prize structure is when you sign up, so that you're sure not to miss any cute little rubber duckies that happen to be gaming rubber duckies that may be part of the prize list. I don't know. I've just heard the rumors. So
there's going to be a lot of fun stuff. There's going to be those, but like you said, we also do the programming. I know for here and for Chico, I'm going to set up a Pokemon. Sorry.
So cool.
I know. My girls and I always called it Pokemon just because it's cute to say it that way. But so it's Pokemon scavenger hunt that you can get a Pokemon card at the end, if you finish it. And it's just, and I see I see your critique, but I don't see it as that. I see it as,
it's incentivization. It's incentivization. It's not really, but and we're not judging. It's not like we're looking at what you're reading or what level it is. We just literally, did you pick up a book for a few minutes? Hey, that's all you need.
15
That's all you
elephant
need.
piggies. I mean,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter.
That's all.
But it is because you do the little bit, the 5, and then you level to the next level, and then you do the 10, and then you level it up again. You know,
what we're all grateful for is that there are so many Captain Underpants.
right?
That one could probably just Captain Underpants their way through the entire summer,
Right.
and you'd be golden. I mean, that is a possibility.
Yeah, that's an option.
I had a boy say here, he was like 8 years old, I think. He's like, wait, I can read anything. I said, yeah, I'm not going to judge what you read anything. He took his smart butt over here and he went over to the board books and he took out the board books and he boop, 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 1, boop, 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 2. Boop, boop. He just sat there and did that with board books. And I'm like,
yeah,
I did say anything.
Right.
That's fine. We're going to move on.
I need your book report on
That's
the
funny. It's inventive.
ABC.
Smart little kid.
Oh
Yes.
boy.
I'll start with A. I need your book report, 25 words. But for adults, we do have, because we want to sort of focus on adults participating as well this year. So what we kind of decided was we're going to have a limit of 5 books this summer, which you can also apply to your 25 and 25 reading challenge if you're participating in that. So it's only 5 books. And when you come in, you will be asked, when you give your little reading tracker, you'll also be asked to participate in a little bit of a book report, just writing down like 25 words. And for every book report that you provide, you will be entered into a raffle to receive a gift card at the end. And this is good for at all the branches. And all the branches are participating, and it's going to be for teens and for adults. So gift cards to like local businesses, people who are small businesses running and other things. And so adults, you might want to participate too. This is like your opportunity to get involved in reading and everything this summer. And we have incentivization for you too.
Yeah, and
great.
side note,
Yeah.
those little book reports, no one's checking them to make sure that they're
no.
utilizing the proper use
Right.
of the Queen's grammar or whatever, you know.
It's just you have to like the book.
Yeah.
We're not asking for a
This
review.
is a giant turd of a book, and I recommend it to absolutely no one. And these are 3 reasons why.
You could even give one reason or no reason. You could just be like, because I said so. Thank you very much. The point is to be like, the other people may be looking for things to read over summer, and these will be sort of posted anonymously, of course, but they'll be posted up in the libraries, and people will be able to take a look at them and say, oh, you read that particular thing? I was thinking about that, but wow, shnikes, I better not read that thing.
Yeah, that might inspire each other.
Or I wasn't going to, but this looks like a really good review. Maybe I should give it a chance.
Yeah.
So so adults get involved as well.
That's awesome.
Now, we're also going to be involved in Lunch in the Library this summer, and particularly in our Oroville branch. Can you talk a little bit about why that's an important initiative for the community and what it is, how it works and stuff?
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
So this will be our 9th year of doing Lunch at the Library. It's amazing. And one of the 9, yeah.
That is up there. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
It took my brain a second to process that. That's why you're
Mine
continuing. I'm
too.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
9?
I know.
Okay.
It's wild. It's really wild. And, it's really like we're just trying to mitigate some of the effects of childhood hunger that we see in our communities. We have, a high rate of poverty, and that's countywide. And so, by having a nourishing meal in their bellies, kids are more able to read and engage and retain information. Their brains work better, obviously, when they've got some food. And so that was really, I think, where the state library was coming from when they developed this program years ago, was having kiddos. Not only, are we helping to prevent the summer slide, but we're making sure we're preventing summer slide by offering them a meal, so that they have the necessary calories for their brains and for their bodies. So it's really an amazing thing to be able to provide and to be able to make a little bit of a difference. We're not set up countywide for it, but in Oroville, we do see, a large number of kids who might be going without once they're out of school, where they're getting their regular meal. It might be breakfast and lunch. We don't want them to go without.
Right.
I used to be a teacher forever ago. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but there is something called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs that state that you need basics like food.
Perfect.
Food consistency and things like food, shelter. You need those needs met before you can even access anything outside of that. And first and foremost, you need food. You need food to think. You need food to do all this stuff. And it is sad, and it is a sad fact that, kids, when they're out of school, sometimes don't get that food. And it's lovely that the library has a program like this.
Maslow's that's a perfect example. And I think a lot of folks wouldn't maybe necessarily right off the bat think that that's something that the library could do, or that's something that they could help with. So there definitely was like a learning curve time early on when libraries started serving lunch, for folks to get used to that, to just get used to the concept.
We both know that's not only thing that happens there. We know that you do more than just give food. There's a craft going on. It's a movies, sometimes all kinds of stuff. It's just a fun time in addition to said food. It's there's a lot of fun happening there, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. We try to have some fun activities that happen during the lunch hour itself. So it is enrichment oriented.
There you go. There you go.
That's just a fancy way of saying it's fun.
We definitely want them to keep coming back.
You got to reach the letter count at the end.
Right?
Of the word count.
Enrichment oriented. That's a fun way to say fun.
Get to the bottom of those 5 pages much quicker.
That's great.
So, would it be possible do you have any like heartwarming stories of like lunch at the library or whatever show to talk about that maybe like to share? I know that so many families come in and it's just such a great time for them.
Right. Thank you. And since we've been doing it for a few years, there are certain families that we tend to only see in the summer. There are some that only come for lunch, but maybe not like for story time, where that window of opportunity opens up for them in the summer, where they have the opportunity to come to the library. So one fun thing has been watching some of these kiddos just grow. Just watching them grow, and then seeing what they look forward to when they come back.
That's great.
We have we've done some school supply giveaways, and when they come back and they want this year's backpack, and they're picking out this year's backpack. And it just reminds you how much they've grown or how much they value you as a resource, as the library. We've done things like the shaving cream marbled art.
I was
paper.
there for that one.
Thank goodness
that one
you
is
were there.
so much fun. Okay,
so good.
So
it's messy, FYI, but oh my God, it's so good.
This was such a fun day because I was at Oroville this day, and I was in the back minding my own business. And our director comes in, Misty, our director, who's amazing. She comes in and she's like, someone needs to go help Kimberly because there are so many people in there right now. I said, okay. And I got up and I went there with a few other coworkers, and Kimberly is up to her ears in little kids running around with shaving cream.
Children and shaving foam.
Children and shaving. And it was so much fun.
And food dye.
Yeah, it was little
coloring.
trays filled with shaving cream, and y'all put coloring on top of it, and then kind of moved it around and put a piece of paper on that and scraped it off, and it was like marbled art. And those kids were like, behold this wonderful thing that I have made. And it was just a lot of fun, but it was messy. It was so chaotically good.
You saved us.
It was great. It was a lot of fun.
And that was a thing that we've been trying to do each year. And so you really helped us make it happen last year so that we could kind of create that memory,
making core memories, as the kids say.
And then, when they just say, when they tell you, like, I appreciate you or thank you for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Makes you want to
that
cry.
makes it all worth it.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
When
It's-
they do that, and they do,
Yeah.
they do express their gratitude,
Mhm.
and that always gets me, right in the
and it's got to
feels.
be great when you see them year to year, and you see them growing, and you get to like experience that impact that you're having on them because you're watching them develop and excel outside of the library, and it's great.
Yeah,
That's so
it
cool.
is. It's
That's awesome. Well,
That's lovely.
we have reached the quick fire portion.
So I have a series of questions.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you said questions,
Mhm.
and you must answer as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Are you quite ready?
I think so.
Fantastic. So, first and foremost,
Mm.
what was your favorite book as a child?
The Secret Garden is my favorite book.
Really?
Yeah. My grandfather gave me a hard copy version of it when I was
Mhm.
about 8. And it was kind of, starting to be my introduction into chapter books more so, I'd say. And I just loved the story, even though it was set in a completely different time. It was sort of mysterious.
Fair.
Yeah, maybe I like the mystery of it.
Yeah.
And the natural world was reflected.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, one or the other. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Story time or craft programs?
Ooh. Today I'm going to go with story time.
It can shift depending on the mood, can't it?
Yeah, today I'm feeling it for the stories,
Mhm.
but we sure do a lot of crafts.
We
Yeah,
do. We do so many. It's so much
Yeah.
fun. I like the crafts.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
You are stranded on a desert island.
Uh-oh.
I don't get ready.
Okay.
What children's book character do you want with you?
Oh, wow. I would like Clifford the big red dog
Really?
to hang out with me. And there's nothing like a good dog companion, for
Mhm.
one. And I think if I needed to get to some high reaching places, like get the coconut off the palm tree,
He would help.
maybe
Mhm.
Clifford would be able to help me out, maybe provide some safety.
Shade.
We could work on swimming lessons,
It's such
getting off the island.
excellent practical answer. Like he could be a bed, he could be a ladder, he could be a pal, he could be, I mean, he could be a boat, he could be it's just what a practical, excellent answer. I love it.
This needs the thing that everyone needs.
We just didn't know it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Who knew? Who knew?
good old Clifford.
Yeah.
Love
If you could have a magical library pet, what would it be?
Oh, wow, that's such a good question. Oh boy. Okay, I pretty much love all animals, but a cool library pet maybe would be a bat.
Mhm.
Even though they would probably only come out at nighttime, so that makes it awkward because we're open in the daytime.
That's okay. You know, we've got lots of literature
Have to
about bats in
work
the
on that
library.
part,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, workshop that bit.
Mhm.
But no, imagine help finding things when you can't find them, when something's on like the list of holds and you're like, where's that book? Hey, Batty McBatterson, use that echolocation.
No, that's not the appropriate term. The appropriate term for a bat is a sky puppy.
Oh, yes.
We had, I don't know if she's
That's
coming back
great.
this year, but we had the Bat Lady the last 2 years from NorCal Bat Rescue. And she comes in and
right.
she brings live bats and she educates. And the first time she came in, I got to go in there and, sneak in and kind of watch her. And she showed it and she showed the canines, and bats are basically just teeny tiny little dogs
Oh wow!
with wings.
And they're even worse eyesight.
Right?
That's
Right?
great.
They're sky puppies.
I love it. I love it. It goes great. We've got
Oh.
Clifford on the island, and then we've got the bat, the
Yeah.
little dog, and the big.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. You ready for your next one?
Yes.
What is your ultimate snack and book combo?
Oh wow! So good. All right. All righty.
Because we've all got one. Only serial killers will you read a book without eating snacks. I mean,
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I have to come up with a book or just a snack?
No, just like the snack. I
Just
mean,
the
you
snack.
can, and it can be. It doesn't have to be a kid book.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a genre.
Uh-huh.
Like you like to read,
Uh-huh.
you like to sit down with a mystery book and a cup of tea,
Love it.
or
Okay.
or whatever. It doesn't have to be like,
Okay.
was it Miss Scarlet in the den with a candlestick? Miss Scarlet with a copy of Nathaniel Hawthorne and a bag of Cheez-Its. It doesn't
Okay.
have to be like that.
No,
Okay.
Cheez-It turns the pages orange. Come on now.
No, that's the little
insanity.
Cheetos that do the.
Tempting
Oh,
to
you're
go
right,
there,
yes.
though.
Yeah.
Cheeto fingers.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm going to say red vines, eating red vines while reading cookbooks.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's dangerous
trouble.
territory.
I know.
I like
That's,
that, though.
yeah. It's a
Mhm.
possibility. That could happen
Oh, that could
on
absolutely
any
happen.
given day.
That could
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely going to be nonfiction. I'm more of a nonfiction reader. But I think that opens it up to lots of potential for
Yes.
a variety of
Mhm.
snacks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My
Yeah.
goodness. Well, thank you so much for joining us today,
you.
Kimberly.
Thank
This has
you.
been an immense pleasure. We always love having you. It's always a good time. Thanks so much.
Good job.
Yay.
Yay. Yay. Thank you for highlighting summer.
I'm here with our wonderful new children's librarian, Kai. Welcome, Kai! Kai is the children's librarian for North County. So if you're ever around in Chico or Durham or here in Paradise, we're in the kids' room of Paradise right now.
Which is the best area.
It's lovely, and we have truffula trees back
Yes.
here.
Made by.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Kai's the one that's doing story times. Kai's the one that's been planning the children's programs. We've got an amazing summer reading program coming up for kids where they're going to be making ice cream, and that was all
Ice cream.
this one's thought, baby.
But be
So-
ready to work out because it's
Oh
gonna.
yeah,
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
lot of shaking
You gotta
with ice
work it.
cream.
Yeah.
Huh? That's
Yeah.
a good workout,
It is,
right?
Yes.
it is a very
I
physical.
think I'm gonna have a
program.
playlist to keep the kids entertained.
Oh, absolutely.
Shake it,
That's
shake
a
it.
great
Gotta
idea.
shake it off. Shake it off.
Also for the adults, okay?
Yeah, not too many bars of that. We don't need a copyright claim on the video. So.
Oh, nobody can name that song. It's fine.
Who's that
Watch the comments are
Pokemon?
going to fill up with that. I know who that was.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a secret. Since Kai is new here, we thought we would have a little fun with them and introduce them to the community and get to know them a little bit.
Yes.
So, Kai, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on Librarians.
Thank you for having me.
So I've got a few questions about your background and what brings you here. Are you ready to answer some questions?
I think so. Yes.
Fantastic. All right. What inspired you to become a children's librarian?
Specifically the children, yes.
That's a good start. I love baseline.
Children,
Uh-huh.
yes,
Yes.
children. I actually started working with kids in more of a public school setting, like almost 10 years ago. Gosh, that feels forever. But the school was just so limiting. It was not the type of environment I wanted to really interact with kids anymore. There are just too many rules, too many yes, no's, I can't do that. And being in the library, you can have way more freedom to create things that they like. We can still learn, but do it in a fun way that's not making you hate me because I'm making you do math right now. We're not doing calculus. We're not doing algebra. It's just all their creative, fun, imaginative, brilliant ideas.
It's amazing.
Here. Where I don't have to say, sorry, that wasn't the answer on the test, though. I can say, beautiful, yes, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Take it home
Absolutely.
now.
I
Absolutely.
love it. You know, I also have experience as a teacher in the public school system, and I found the same limitations very, very frustrating.
Yes.
And here at the library, we have a bit more freedom. And it's not just to teach, because we do have programs that teach, and those are lovely, but it's to inspire.
Yep.
And I think that's amazing.
Well, it's
And to
so
learn
great
through
for kids
play.
to be able to experience doing different things
Mhm.
without having to reach some sort of metric.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to
Yes.
be able to come in
Yes.
and experience something
Mhm.
super fun and just see how they feel about it
Mm-hmm.
rather than whether they're checking off some series of lists. So
Yeah, or
I
if
can
it's right, or
see.
if it's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the right way
which-
to do it.
like
Mhm.
right
Yeah,
and
no.
wrong.
No.
It's like
No.
And it causes so much stress and anxiety
Yeah.
when you have to do this thing and you have to do it the right way. And it breaks my heart when you have kids that
Yeah.
come in and you've got teachers that are like, that's not your level. That's not right. That's
Yeah.
not reading. And I'm just like, ma'am.
Well, it's so great we don't have to worry about that here.
Right?
It's so fantastic. It's
We
very
get to make
freeing.
recommendations.
Yes.
You can say, hey, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
suggested for your age group, but if you have fun, go for it.
You want to rock that elephant and
Yeah.
piggy? You rock that
Yeah,
elephant and
absolutely.
piggy.
They're hilarious.
Yeah.
I read books of all ages.
Yes, indeed. Indeed,
Mhm.
indeed, indeed.
And I'm an
indeed.
adult. So
Mhm.
hey.
That's the privilege of being in it.
Right.
Part of being a children's librarian is like
Yeah.
get paid to read all the kids' books.
You
Well,
have
there's
to read
that
the
as
kids'
well.
books.
They kind of expect me.
Right? That's kind of a part of the job
Yeah.
description, you know? Now, can you tell us a bit about your journey? Where did you start? How did you end up here in Butte County at the Butte County Library?
It's quite a ways away from where I was born, so it is a journey.
Yeah.
It is a journey. I definitely spent a lot of my elementary, then middle school years in the library. I'm like, okay, I'm one of those kids, you know, we're not the popular kid, we're not the sports kid, we're not the club kid, we're the go find a book in the library and leave me alone kid.
Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. at
No,
all.
no,
Yeah.
nobody hears like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, libraries, yes, love you. They have all these things. They started to have internet and things. We're like, okay, it's not just books. All right, all right. But then did that whole thing where you don't really go for a while until I'm in college. We're like, I should go back to the library. Wow, the library's really cool. It's really fun. They have
It
all these things
is.
I can do and all this knowledge. I actually like reading and learning all the time.
Uh-huh.
Where could I do that? Oh my gosh, the library. That's why I was still working in public schools when I applied for my MLIS. So
Yeah.
I actually was doing that at the same time.
Mhm.
So I got to kind of see like, all right, I don't want to be in teaching, but being a librarian is still kind of being a teacher.
Mhm.
I still see myself as an educator. I'm like, I still
Mhm.
educate, we still explore, we still get access to information, but without as many rules. And still, I really like to highlight equity, diversity, and inclusion in the things that I do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And being able to explore that more in library school was really
Mhm.
nice to have that be invited and even required. At some courses, like, nope, you have to learn about these things, which I know is not really happening as much right now in the world and with teaching and in public education. So
Yeah.
it's really nice to be in like a little bubble here, specifically in Butte County, where we have Proposition H keeping us locally funded, and I
Mhm.
can actually explore what it means to be a librarian, which I could not do where I came from in Stanislaus County. I was working in that
Mhm.
library system for about a year and a half or so as a library assistant, but they just weren't hiring me for librarian positions.
Yeah.
And it was
That's not
sad,
good.
but I was like,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh, and
you
we're
guys want me
so
here?
happy to have you
Yeah,
here. We are so
absolutely.
happy.
you want me here, so I'll go
Yeah.
here.
What year did you complete your MLIS again?
2023.
Dot, dot, dot. There we go.
Nice. Nice.
A year and a half ago. It was,
Wow.
It was the same year my dad passed away, so those
Oh, I'm
dates
so
just
sorry.
bleed together for
Sorry.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a weird dream.
Yeah, that's a hard time.
like it's a weird
Mhm.
blah.
Yeah.
So it just muddles together. But it's been a little while.
Well, we're so happy to have you
No,
here.
we're so grateful
Welcome.
you're here.
It's
Mhm.
been very nice, warm welcoming. So much obliged.
Yeah, we love Kai.
Yay.
Kai's very sparkly.
You can't tell. You can't tell. But I'm not in the sunshine. I can't
Uh-huh.
glisten like Edward Cullen, but
Yes.
I sparkle.
Exactly. Now, what is your favorite part about working with children in the library?
Dun dun. I love to hear them just find things that they like. Like some people are like, "Oh God, be quiet, children," and I'm like, "Squeal in delight! It's my favorite noise." Listen, that one, I'm like, "Yes."
Mhm.
Like, you know, they looked for this book, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I don't know if we can find. I don't know if we can find it. Here it is." And then it's Christmas. And they're so
Yeah.
excited. Or during our different programs, to hear them and watch them figure out like a craft or a STEAM experiment that we have going on, and they just get it.
Mhm.
And then when they teach each other, or they're showing
that
whoever
wonderful?
brought them, and they're just
Uh-huh.
so proud of themselves. I love that
Yeah.
because they get to explore. They get to be their own educator if they want to. They get to make friends. They get to socialize. They get to
Yeah.
tell us their cool things. It's just being able to witness them and like
Mhm.
their development and their growth, and they're exploring the library, and we just get to facilitate.
Right?
Like, I don't need to be up in your face. It's fun to
No.
do story time. We love crafts, all the things, but I also want you to find your space.
Right.
And I love
Right.
when the kids can find their space here because
Mhm.
it's for them.
It is.
Absolutely.
It
It's
is
for
very
all of
much
them.
so.
So I love that.
Wonderful. What a lovely
Fantastic.
answer.
I love
Are there any books or authors that had a big impact on you as a child?
that's really hard to answer because yes.
Well, of course.
And you take the scroll out.
So here we go. You know, when I got to like middle school, it was Twilight. It was
Mhm.
Twilight. Harry Potter skipped me.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
couldn't. It was too much for me. My little ADHD brain said, "That's too much. We
Mhm.
can't do that."
Yeah.
So I didn't go that route. But Twilight. But then also, which it's funny to know now that these are called high-low books. That
Mhm.
high content but low vocabulary. I didn't realize how much I was reading those in middle school until now. I'm like, oh, that's what those were. But they were just ways to showcase different people going through like unique, not always so great situations that I felt like could see me a little bit. Like
Right.
things, weren't super great in the childhood life. But going to the library and finding those books and finding these stories that I could connect with and feel like, oh, okay. So other people also go through things, and these are some ways to maybe cope or ways to like form relationships with other people, or not till I'm an adult realizing that I use books also to learn how to just communicate with people. And these are examples because the undiagnosed autism is like, how do we talk to people? Like, well, this book and interaction and had this happen, so I could try that. So
Yeah.
I feel
Exactly.
like everything that I read really made an impact on me, but just the ones that stick are usually the ones that cohabitated with trauma brain, because that's just where it lives.
Yeah.
When I was in college doing my undergrad, I went and I saw the therapist that was on, site. Because I had this thing with the kids call, anxiety. And I know, right? Weird. And not that I still have that or anything.
Never heard of it. Never heard of
it. Went
it.
away after a few
Right?
years.
Yeah, you get over
I
that
thought
stuff.
it just magically.
And I went to this therapist that was there, and she told me to read those books, those high-low books, the books that are really engaging and there's a lot happening and it's really fun, but your brain doesn't have to work very hard, looking at all the vocabulary and trying to use context clues to what does it really mean, because it's just a fun ride and it's relaxing to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get mad and curse the gods and throw the book across the room at some point in time or another, but it's still very relaxing.
No.
And that means you connected with it because you're having an emotional
Yeah.
response.
And then I did find that, as soon as I got really, really stressed out, I would take out like a young adult book or something that's, considered a high-low book. And I would just kind of lose myself in that world for a time. And it was relaxing,
Yeah.
And so I can feel you. I
Still
see you.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
The commute to and from work. Audiobook.
Yeah.
Yep, which we do have on
If
Libby.
you don't have Libby, it's
Uh-huh.
a good time.
Yeah, and if you don't have Libby and you have the CD players, we do check those out on CD here.
Yes, if you're lucky. My new car doesn't have one, and I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
taking them out.
phasing those out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad face.
Sad face.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you don't know how to use Libby and you're a little curious, we have a program here that can teach you how to do that.
Yeah,
So-
that's Access to Technology program.
Yes.
You can always come in. We have the application is online. You can always fill that out.
Because
Come into the library. We can help you fill that out. And you
technology
can get
is
some tech help.
always updating, always changing, and it's hard to
is.
keep up with.
Yes.
Wow, that was a fun tangent. Number 5.
That's what the brain is. It's tangents.
It's all tangents. Maybe a little content, mainly tangents.
It's fine.
What's one thing you wish every family knew about how the library supports its young readers?
I wish they knew that we would like to remove as many barriers for them as possible for their kiddo feeling comfortable and excited to read. Because some people, you've come when you were younger, you got scared because you have fines and fees that maybe build up, and that happens. But hey, guess what? You have a new kid, they can get a new library card. If you do get over that amount, we can help you work out like a payment, something to figure it out. We don't want this to be, I'm scared to go to the library because my kid destroyed a book. Because that happens all the time.
It does.
It happens so much. Plus, they don't make books last anymore. So you could be reading it and it could just fall apart. And that's it. But we're not going to be mad.
Well, and the best thing to do in that situation is just to bring in the book.
Just
Bring in
tell
the
us.
book and
Just
come
tell
talk to
man.
us.
Just tell us. We don't want you to be scared to come here. you or your kids.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want anybody to be afraid. We want this to be your space where you can come in, you can take over. You can always tell us things that you think would make things better, or things that aren't working very well. Or, hey, this would be a really cool program, or I can never make it to this program because it's on this day.
Yeah.
We're working on reworking some things right now to see what can work best for folks. So if you have suggestions, ideas, things that you think we could or should do, please let us know. I want to know. I want to know,
Very
since I'm
much
new
so.
here, so I can help things along. Like, we're trying to revive our 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. I would love for people who have kiddos that are not in kindergarten yet to know about that program, so you can get your kids signed
That
up.
program is actually really amazing. 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. If you've got a little that is in preschool or younger, like I'm talking babies, the experts, educational experts say that your child needs to be exposed to 1,000 books before they start kindergarten in order to have a sufficient vocabulary to be successful in their kindergarten career. And more, kindergarten and up. They don't stop after kindergarten. They keep going. You're done, kid. You're done.
Good luck.
But it's a wonderful program that we have here where we give you little tracking sheets, you get stickers, you get a free book at the end to keeps forevers, or as long as
and a bag halfway through.
And a bag halfway through. It's a lot of fun, and it's free. It's free to participate in this. Everything at the library is free. There's
so free.
The only thing I think that you have to pay for here are late fines, and if you damage a book, that's it. Literally,
and I wouldn't be too concerned. 1,000 books before kindergarten sounds like a really high bar. It's really not. This includes coming to story times. It includes those evenings you're reading to your children and going over things. So don't feel like it has to be, it's like 1,000 books beginning to end. We're talking board books, picture books. It's so as daunting as that 1,000 book number sounds, it's actually very easy to achieve, and we're always here to help you do that. So.
The best part I think about it is when you've got a family that has a baby and then they've got an older child that is learning and practicing to read. Well, they double count. Every book that older child reads aloud and the baby's in the room. I mean, as long as you can put the baby in the room, it double counts,
And repeats count as well.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, like my kids, it was Brown Bear, Brown Bear.
Yep.
And I had to read Brown Bear so many times. That one and the Gruffalo. I have the Gruffalo memorized because I had to read it so many times. They get a book and they love it and they want to hear it. Yeah, and that's good.
It's
That's
the
good
best
for
when
them.
they can then read it back to you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love those
Absolutely.
times.
It's delightful. It's a great program. I would definitely check it out if you got the time.
So know that all these cool, fun things are here.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. All right, we've kind of touched on the serious subjects and everything. So now we're going to do a little quick round of fun questions. We've done this before on the Youth Services podcast that we did a few months ago. So now, because Kai is new, to welcome Kai, we're going to give them their own little quick fire round. So here we go. You ready? You ready?
I guess so.
Okay.
You do great.
You ready?
Ready or not, here we go.
Okay. All right. What was your favorite book as a child?
I cannot tell you.
You're like, all of them.
I mean, I've reread Twilight 5 times. So
There you go. Okay,
not
that's
alone.
fair.
You're not
I know,
alone.
I know. I kind of just block out some of the other ones too. So there was this weird zombie one I read that I still think about.
I love that.
Vampires and zombies.
Well, there you go.
And sci-fi and like anything that's sci-fi. Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
same.
Fairies, vampires,
Dragons.
Same.
dragons, goblins.
All right, story time or crafts?
Story time, because then I can be obnoxious. I can choose the playlist. We can shake obnoxious things, and then they all go home with a great out of energy, and then I don't clean up.
I know, right? No glitter, no glitter, no.
I started to finally not hate glitter as much.
Yeah,
I accept it.
It's hard.
It's
hard.
January's like, I am glitter.
I love glitter.
I know.
Well, after being like full of glitter after a certain amount of time, you have no choice but to accept
That's why
it.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
resignation.
I love it, and I bring it out whenever I can, and that's why the janitors hate me.
Yeah. I will
But you're
say,
still here.
the story time, that was always my favorite too. One of
Story
my
time.
favorite compliments that I would ever get from a parent would be when they come and go, we didn't even have to go to the park afterwards. They were so tired. They just went home and took a nap. That was always one of my favorite parts of doing story
We
time.
exhausted your child.
Yeah, I was always like, yes, mission accomplished. All right, so number 8, you're stranded on a desert island. What children's book character do you want with you on that desert island?
January already knows because I just told her. Ada Twist Scientist.
Oh,
She's gonna figure out how we're gonna have fun, how we're gonna eat, how
Uh-huh.
we're gonna drink water,
Uh-huh.
how we're gonna have shelter because I will burn like nobody's business.
I feel
and
ya.
how we get where
Yeah.
we want to go.
DIY sunscreen.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
She will take care of us.
Yeah.
Oh, that is such a good answer.
I will
That
be
is
here for the assist.
amazing. Yeah,
That's why you're a fan of the
And I would
vampires,
help
right?
you.
Because you both burst into flame when the sun's
I
out.
would love for that to be real. Every day I wake up, I'm like, I'm not a vampire. Okay.
Wow,
I guess
lame.
I'll do stuff. Dang it.
Mm,
Fine.
guess I'll get up in the morning. All right. If you could have a magical library pet, what would it be?
It has to be cat-like.
Okay.
It has to be a cat, probably with probably a cat combined with so many other creepy crawlies. A cat with like a snake tail maybe, and
Mhm.
like bird claws, and
Okay.
horns, and wings. They could be either bat wings or bird wings. I'm not
You're
sure.
freaking January out.
Like
Maybe
I
you could have a
was all
raccoon
really
tail.
cute at the beginning, and then
Okay,
as
okay.
they're continuing, I'm just like, oh dear
Okay,
lord.
fine. Maybe a raccoon tail, not a snake tail.
Oh,
You
it's
can leave the
cuter.
snakes out of it.
Everybody likes a good
except
trash panda.
Except if we have to like really deal with a not so happy camper, it can have the snake teeth pop out of its mouth to be threatened.
There you go.
That's great.
So I think that a cat, rat, bat, bird thing. It's gonna be a cat.
There you go. There you go. Named Bob.
I'm like thinking kitty corn, but like kitty corn's like
I love
kind of
your imagination.
slightly evil cousin.
Okay.
You can invite kitty corn
Because
sometimes.
Tracy asked that question, and my brain's like dragon, 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 and then you're like, it has to start as a cat, and like start as,
That's the
and,
best.
and then it, and then it's got this piece and this piece and this piece, and I'm just like, your imagination is far superior to mine.
Like, well, what kind of cat? Rat,
Yeah, exactly. Is it a tabby? Is it a calico?
None
Is
of
it-
the
Yeah, is
above.
it a black cat?
Probably a black cat. Maybe with like an orange belly. Or maybe it'll be two of
Oh.
them. Fine. One will be black, one will be orange. That's just my dream. I have
There you
an
go.
orange. I have an orange. I need the black
That's
one.
delightful.
There you go.
I loves it.
I
Mhm.
love that. That's
Yes.
genius. Genius.
Hey man,
And
I work
the-
with kids. I gotta be weird.
Right. It's kind of a prerequisite.
It
right?
really is. Yeah.
So the final question: what's your ultimate snack and book combo?
So this is where the fun undiagnosed tism comes in. So it's not just a snack. It's at
Right.
least like a water. Maybe you have a juice, or if you're really fancy, you have a matcha.
Okay.
Nice matcha,
Ooh.
okay. And then you have to have like some fruit. Could be grapes, could be strawberries.
Mhm.
Could be multiples, could be all combined.
Yeah.
And then if we're really feeling fancy, then we'll also have some sun chips, the garden salsa.
What are those boards
Ooh.
called?
Those are my
that they
charcuterie
have?
boards.
Yes, that's
We
what
could
it
have a
sounds like.
charcuterie
You've got
board.
an adorable little
Well,
charcuterie
plus,
board.
I do have this wonderful non-dairy little cheese spread. So you
Uh-huh.
put that in the middle. You can have some carrots.
That's
have some
amazing.
peppers,
Uh-huh. That's
Oh my God,
amazing.
There you go. That sounds delightful. That
Uh-huh.
sounds delightful. Thank you so much for joining us
I just
today,
like to
Kai,
put
and for
this.
joining us every day. We're so happy to
Every
have
day
you
I
up here in
can.
Paradise. We're so happy to have you in Durham. I know Chico is thrilled to have you.
You're all
Thank
only
you so much.
fighting over me.
We are.
We are.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
fair.
I'm not even ashamed of it. We are.
I mean,
Mhm.
you know, you can't help what's the truth. You just
Mhm.
you can't.
Yeah.
I do what I can.
Ramon.
Pulled in
I
a
do what I
million
can.
directions. Excellent.
But thank you for joining.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank
having
you.
me.
And you did fantastic.
Yay.
A round of applause.
So we hope this episode got you excited to jump into your next great read and maybe win some stuff along the way.
Don't forget, you can sign up for summer reading at any Butte County Library branch. It's free, it's fun, and it's for all ages.
And a big thanks to our amazing children's librarians, Kimberly and Kai, for joining us today, and to you for listening and supporting your local library.
Until next time, keep reading, keep exploring, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of Librarianship. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Bye.